main resource used for economic activity in our coastal communities. As you've seen in the first part of this series, the livelihood of fishers are threatened by overfishing and also by illegal fishing. But the stakeholders, along with the Belize Fisheries Department and NGOs such as the Wildlife Conservation Society, are partnering on initiatives to improve the management of the sector and improve the lives of the main users of our natural resources. The open access nature of the fisheries is being reformed to a managed access program, which is being piloted at two sites, the Glover's Reef Marine Reserve and Port Honduras Marine Reserve, which is eastward of Punta Gorda town.
It specifically grants access to fishing to customer users to the general use zone of the Marine Reserve. When we speak about traditionality, we try to focus on the people who make at least 80 to 85% of their livelihoods from fishing.
Pero ahorita con eso del managed access sí está funcionando acá en Globas, porque ya no entran las otras lanchas de otro lugar a trabajar acá, que solo los que trabajan aquí.
The lure of Glover's Reef for unlicensed fishers can prove to be too tempting. One of the tools that the department uses for enforcement is the observation tower. There is another eye on the sky as enforcement efforts are being equipped with conservation drones.
For fuel sake, let's say, we can just deploy the drones and conduct a patrol around the area to see that everything is okay, and if we see any type of activity that do not seems to be right, well, we can always take our vessel and go and check the area.
WCS is piloting the use of technology in coordination with the Fisheries Department to strengthen surveillance and enforcement. Drones and the use of a program called SMART are being integrated into the daily patrols and checks of the fishermen who utilize the atoll. The manager of the Glover's Reef Reserve, Alisa Eck, starts her day with SMART.
When going to each boat, we record who the captain is, who's on board, if we collected the data sheets, and if not, why not, what the reason from the fishermen were, why they didn't fill in these log sheets. And we also document on the tablet if we find illegal activity.
The Nature Conservancy is one of the NGOs that are trying to make a positive impact in the coastal communities. They had met with 60 fishermen across the country that represented various associations and cooperatives, and that working group came up with an economics alternative and fisheries diversification plan.
The plan actually incorporates multiple sectors, including governance, policy, capacity building, institutional strengthening. But the real crux of the plan has been the development of sort of the business and marketing component that looks at specific projects and programs across the country that would enhance the livelihoods of fishermen.
Placencia Fishermen Cooperative has partnered with the Southern Environmental Association, the Belize Fisheries Department, the Ministry of Fisheries, and COMPAP for a seaweed project. It does not only supplement the income of fishers, it has actually removed a few fishers from the industry, including a fourth-generation Placencia fisherman, Lowell Japs Godfrey.
I am completely 100% involved with seaweed farming. I am no longer harvesting lobster, conch, or fish. We have a site here at Little Water Key, and then we have a site at Hatchet Key. And now we have in northern part of the Gladden Spit Reserve. Each farm will give you approximately 100 pounds every 3 months.
The cooperative sells it for $30 per pound. The areas that are being used by the seaweed project are now protected. According to the Wildlife Conservation Society's coordinator of the National Replenishment Zone Expansion Project, the establishment of replenishment zones is critical to the long-term viability of the fishing industry.
We have our more strictly protected areas such as our conservation, no-take, or replenishment zones. No type of fishing activities are allowed in these areas. For Belize, these strictly protected areas make up about 3% of our territorial sea. These areas are important because it actually serves as a refuge for these marine resources. These are usually areas that serve as nursery grounds, feeding grounds, areas that allow for reproduction to occur, so that in the future there are still organisms, fish stocks and so on available for our future generations to use.
It works because, you know, in one way you can see, like I said, the lobster comes from one end to outside. So it works in that condition. Because if there was no reserve, all those lobsters was going to be caught already.
Mind take a peep now, you can pass. Everything clear. Everything clear.
The future is great. The policies that we as fishermen and the government are utilizing is going to secure a future in marine life in Belize.
There is more that we can do as Belizeans, including refusing to buy a product that is undersized and out of season. We are at a critical point where all of the partners are working together towards a sustainable fisheries sector. The use of replenishment zones to increase fish stocks and revitalize ecosystems, enforcement measures using drones, the smart system, alternative livelihood projects, and the overall increased capacity of the Belize Fisheries Department help to manage and conserve our waters for future generations.